Well, we're getting back on the road again. I don't know if I got them in frame for the video. I had to take some pictures of some pretty yellow flowers, and well, like I said before, this is one of the most spectacular places where the hands of man and the hands of God cross paths, because, well, we're coming up here. It's about, like I said, 10,000 or so feet. A short video I did where I just kind of peeked around the whole area. I did that, and you could probably hear me sucking air. I know when I use my recorder to record events that I'm at, I hear my breathing, and when I'm up here, it's almost scary to hear. Yeah, you see this truck turn out here. Well, you got a lot of lumber trucks that go over this pass, and probably a couple of freight haulers will come out and use it as a shortcut. But it's a nice drive either way. Yeah, this is the kind of area you think about when you start thinking about people making Sasquatch videos and stuff. Days I need to go up that side road we just went past. If I'm going to be here for a while, I might as well go up there and get myself in trouble. If I was going to live around this area, that house we just passed, or that cottage or cabin or whatever it is, yeah, that one or the one up in the high right corner, those would be places I'd want to stay for the winter. Granted, I'd probably be told to get a helicopter and a ham radio that can communicate with emergency services. But if I'm going to be up here, well, I don't know if getting to a hospital would even mark as a priority. One thing that people have been making jokes about Ukraine for bringing in guys that are like in their mid-30s and going into their 40s into their army in the draft. One, they want the younger men to be able to help to pump up the population, which they were having problems with that before the war started back in 2014. And then two, they had the fact that, number one, old guys don't eat as much. Once a guy gets over 30, he doesn't need to eat that 2,000 calorie dinner at that steakhouse. Granted, it still feels good to do it. And then number two, they've had more time to stop and think and make their peace with God and the universe and, you know, their family and everybody. So being an old man in a young man's game isn't as dumb as people might think. Thinking about turning in a article to my editor come Monday and go out and grab my snowshoes and my backpack and a bottle of oxygen on the way out. I think I'll call the article Hypoxia and Other Dumb Ways to Die. And this valley we just went past is off to the right side of the picture. This looks like a great place to have a great big music festival. Just let the music just bounce off every hard surface along the edge of the canyon. Coming over here, gonna see a sign that says the Hog Park. Should be right around the next bend or so. Funny story about hogs out here. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the gate. The Hog Park is another couple miles down the. Hog Park is a couple miles down the hill, or maybe not a couple miles, maybe about a half a mile or so. But Hog Park was actually called Hog Park because on the way back to what is now Hog Park, there's the remnants of a cabin where some women rendered their services. They rendered their services servicing loggers and cowboys and miners who would happen to have enough gold to make it worth their while. That was the turnoff right there. One of the funniest things I ever saw is if you're up by Douglas, Wyoming, just north of there, turn off, I believe it's Wyoming 93 off of Wyoming 59, and you come to a big plaque called the 2 Mile Hog Farm, or I'm sorry, 2 Mile Hog Ranch. Well, the 2 Mile Hog Ranch was actually the name of a whorehouse, again servicing cowboys and soldiers, anybody that was happening by. You weren't too far off of the Oregon Trail, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to stop and take a quick look at some point. But where it got even funnier was that rest area was where the Wyoming Department of Transportation would set up a pop-up shop. Anybody who doesn't know trucker jargon, a pop-up shop is basically a scale. It's a scale and truck auditing area where it's otherwise something else. You'll see them in rest areas all across the country. You'll see them all over the place. And, well, they set them up there at the 2 Mile Hog Ranch. And I remember the first time I got pulled in there, I couldn't stop laughing. The officer looks at me and starts asking me questions. Have I been using drugs? Have I been drinking? Or whatever. And he asked me why I'm laughing. I said, you don't want to know. And then he looks over at the sign and he says, it's because this is the 2 Mile Hog Ranch and you're surrounded by pigs. I said, you said it, not me. I mean, I'm not one for calling cops pigs, but boy, you gotta love the irony. Some people willingly turn themselves towards. You can see over there, that's the snowy range over there. You got Canada and Panic Peak, and you got Old Baldy out here. What's really pretty though is when we get up there. If you looked at any of my other videos, I did a drive-through with this just about the same time of year coming through. I think I had the Peterbilt. I did a drive-through video.